I know that you've been, trained as a fighter, and I just was thinking to myself, I know I'm long in the tooth, but there are times in my life where I think maybe now I could pick it up. Maybe I could pick it up now. I'm not even kidding.
Are you being serious?
Because it's such a great workout. You analyze me as a fighter. I've got the height and the reach.
That reach, you got those long arms.
Right.
I would want nothing to do with you, man.
But wait a minute.
Seeing you in the gym. If you just walked in, I would look at the length is a serious thing. And here's what I'll tell you.
I am, but you can't punch someone in the face.
John Bernthal is telling me that I have it.
But why do you have to punch someone in the face? Why can't he just punch a bag or hit a handbag and start training?
There are some people I really want to hit.
We'll get there. That's always
one of them's in this room.
Hey, but I'm scrappy. I'm rope-a-dope.
Yeah, I would love to see the two of you.
My problem is, I think it would be, could I take a punch?
I think you could, man. I think you could. I think it's a lot of that.
I got my
mental.
nose smashed in. I got jumped by a bunch of people when I had graduated high school, and it was before I started college. And I wandered into sort of a dicey neighborhood in Boston, and I realized I was in a neighborhood I wasn't supposed to be in. And I was wearing a T-shirt that had the Irish flag on it, which I'm not kidding. That had been a gift from my uncle who had been to Ireland, and it had the Irish flag on it. I wasn't thinking about it, but apparently I was in an Italian neighborhood, so I got my nose smashed in by some fellows who didn't like the cut of my jib. That's how I described them to the police. Who hit you, Mr. Bunn? There were these fellows. They didn't like the cut of my. But after that, I thought, like, man, and the police were asking me, like, well, what'd you do when you realized you're about to get hit? Like, what stance did you go into? And I went, stance? Because I'm told I had been a little bit of a wise guy to them.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy about that is you actually told me that the first time I ever did your show. You said, because we talked about the size of my deformed, just disgusting excuse for a nose and how many times it had been broken. And then you said to me, and then in the pause, in the commercial break, I leaned over and I've always been so intrigued about what the hell people actually talk about in those moments. Because besides with you, it's always been a super, super awkward conversation I've had.
No, we had a great conversation.
But that one, I went over to you and I said, hey man, those guys that hit you, do you think they now know that they hit you? And you looked at me like I was and you were like, dude, it was before I was in college. I just said that. And then the next time I saw you, I tried to bring it up with you, but I think I kind of failed again, man.
And fail? No, I think I just was thinking, like, no, those guys have no idea.
But you don't think now
that they beat up Conan O'Brien, and if they did, they'd be like, good. You
are a memorable figure.
A memorable figure, man. It's Conan O'Brien, right?
But, you beat up a giant, very pale, kind of redheaded guy, and then they beat so many people up that they don't remember.
They might. I don't know.
That's the rub. If they're hitting them just for the but there could have been other reasons that they hit you, which could have been your size, your other
also,
things.
They asked for money, and I said no, and they said why not, and I said I don't feel like it. And the time between me putting the period on don't feel like the T of don't feel like it, I didn't even see it coming. It was like bang, bang, bang.
And then the anti-Italian word that you threw at him right before you did that.
I swear to God, I did not do that. Then I would have had it coming. But the funny part of the story to me is that my mom got called and she was at work, and the person who called her from like the emergency room, because I just walked to an emergency room and just blood everywhere, and the person who called her said, we have your son here, Conan. He was attacked by a mob. And she said attacked by a mob, and my mom went, yeah, okay, I'm coming. Didn't even question, knew that like, yeah, that wise guy, I'm sure a mob. She didn't question it at all. She's like, yep, I'm on my way.
Were you by yourself?
I was with a friend of mine who I didn't see for many, 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 many years. And then a couple of years ago, my friend John and I reconnected. And one of the first things we talked about was, I said, you were there that day. He was like, oh, yeah, I remember. You were being a little bit of a wise guy.
So it was you, skinny, tall you, in an Irish flag T-shirt, walking through what I imagine is like the Robert De Niro version of Godfather.
Yeah, it was 1917.
That's right. That's
right. And Finucci drove by in a Model A, and he just wanted to wet his beak. He just wanted to wet his beak. He didn't want too much. Yeah, we were. It was through.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
But anyway, I think that's when I realized, like, no, it is a great form of exercise, and I've always, I grew up as one of 6, a couple of brothers, and constant like fake fighting, but also real fighting, wrestling, and so that has been my relationship with a lot of other males in my life. Has been, and my son. Even when he was a little kid, when I see him, I would chase him and tackle him, and we would roughhouse. I don't do it now because over COVID, he grew to be exactly my height. He's 6'4", and he's really fucking strong. And so now when I, quote, have fun wrestle with my son, suddenly my head is going through a wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe we're going to... Let's play Hungry Hippos. Yeah.
That's our train. Take it to him.
So I need you to help me. Yeah, you're going to be my... Just tell me where to, You're encouraging me. You're saying I could go. I could work on a speed bag.
There is literally a gym right down. Steve Petromali's gym is right down the street. He's the best in the world. You could start training there. You would never regret it, and you would whoop the snot out of your son when you're done.
You know what? This is the best podcast episode we've ever done.
We're going to promote. You should not be empowered any more than you are.
I know.
Let's get him. I'm all for it, dude. I'm going to be.
But
in
also,
your corner.
John, keep in mind, I use the old style. I am a turn of the century boxer.
You're a full-on pugilist. I can see it, man.
I have a sash tied around my waist. I'm bare-chested.
Fake mustache that curls up on the side.
Yeah.
I
years ago when I hosted Saturday Night Live, I told them, the writers beforehand, there's one sketch I want to do. I want to play an Irish boxer. I think you can look at it. I think it was in the year 2000. But I play a boxer who boxes this style, but I'm going against a real boxer, and amazing. It's just me getting pummeled. But I'm doing this and bouncing up and. I've always thought, what would it be like if a guy tried to do that? Tried to do that today against like Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. Come here, Floyd. I'll give you a pasting. Come step in, Floyd. I'll show you. I'll give you some creamed corn. That kind of bullshit.
I love it, man. I love it.
Creamed corn.
Yeah, that's my favorite insult. I'll give you some creamed corn.
Okay, you're gonna get beat up so bad.
That's probably
what I said to the Italians. Step up, fellows.
Yeah.
I'll give you some creamed corn. Kabang! 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 Mrs. O'Brien, your son's been I know, by a mob.
The creamed corn thing. Yeah.
And it sounds like John didn't do a damn thing, huh?
Yeah, really.
John was smart. It happened. It happened fast. Yeah. So there wasn't much, and not on John at all, because this was not a long fight.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Was like
this was not a fight.
This was not a fight at all. I was a giant Hummel figurine, and I think there was 1 or 2 punches, and I shattered. And then John had a dustpan, picked up the pieces, and took me to the emergency room. So John was very nice. He took good care of me after I had quickly inflicted all the damage on myself.
Listen, if you're one of these Italian youths that remember hitting Conan O'Brien back then,
if you want to come on the real ones, by the way.
Yes.
By the way,
that's right. And John's not even gonna call me and say they tracked him down.
Man.
John, I'm gonna just hear like, we got someone on today. He took some wrong turns back in the day in Boston. He punched out Conan O'Brien, but you know what? He's a guy who made his mistakes. He's owned it, and you're not even gonna give me a heads up, right? Anyway, just to show our appreciation for you coming on the show, we bought you a Dodge Charger. It's out front. I'm gonna call you. Wait, you gave him a car? Hey, he seemed like a good guy.
Yeah, man, he's going through it. Yeah.